Hey guys, what's going on? A brand new video today, and today we've got a Norwich City rebuild. We're going to be giving ourselves 5 years to take this club to the furthest point we possibly can, try and keep them in the Prem, but also work on that. We're going to be signing players, selling players, taking full control. But before we get into it, guys, be sure to follow the socials as you can see in the top left. Drop a like on the video. Drop a little comment if there's any other teams you want to see me do this with. And be sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to look at is actually the type of squad we've got already. So I filtered this by ability. Obviously, I know I'm familiar with some of these players, and we do actually have some good players. Obviously, we also have some players which are probably towards the later end of their career, I would say. But people like this guy here, obviously, Matthias Norman is a player that I definitely will be playing. A very good player in that role there. And we've also got the likes of Rashiska, obviously quite a recent Norwich signing. A player, again, who has actually been quite good for him in real life. Obviously, Max Aarons, who I'm surprised has not been picked up by another team. Pukki, who's never really cut it for me. He's never really been that Premier League goal scorer, is he? If we're being honest. Sargent, another player who has got the potential there. Also, you've got Kabak, who's an average centre-back. Billy Gilmore, a fantastic midfielder, obviously on loan and quite unrealistic to get him permanently. But still, we've definitely Todd Cantwell as well, Brandon Williams. We've got some people here who I genuinely think we can build a foundation round. So I'm going to look at a team, and then we're going to build a team, our best team, and then we're going to discuss at some of the players we're going to look to offload, and then hopefully we can sort of get some players of who we can bring in. So then, to be fair, this is probably our best team. This is like the best team without any sort of injuries or anything going. Pukki is our best centre forward. Dependent on his value, if we can get the right price for him, I would be considering selling him to bring in a slightly younger player. On the left-hand side, we've got Cantwell, but we've also got Josh Sargent, who can also play up top as well. And on this right-hand side, obviously, Josh Sargent can play there, but Rashiska is definitely going to be the player that I'm looking to use. I've then brought a 3 mid into midfield. It's quite a fluid counter-attack I've basically built round. We've got a centre mid, which will be Gilmore, box to box, which is in Rupp. But also, we've got options in here as well. We really do. And Norman in an anchor role to protect this back four, which consists of Williams. Obviously, actually, I'm going to play Kabak in there. Kabak, we've got Hanley, we've got Zinnemann as well, who, to be honest, I mean, we have got some decent players. Some players who I'm not going to instantly look to offload either. And as for the goalkeeper, I mean, it's the least of our worries because Tim Krul is actually quite a good goalkeeper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to decide a few players I'm going to sell, and I'll let you know the exact list of who we're planning to offload. So that is going to be all the transfers done. As you can see here, there's a lot of players that obviously I didn't sign or sold that were sort of done for this first season. I've just realised, obviously, the likes of like Todd Cantwell, obviously in real life has been loaned out to Bournemouth, as has happened in the game as well. So I did also make the decision to sign or to sell Pukki, just so I had funds to sign a player of my choice. And I'm glad that I have, because he looks absolutely incredible. So obviously some of the players here, you can see that we've lost quite a few players, to be honest. And obviously Billy Gilmore was here when we got here. Ben Gibson was. Rashiska was. Unfortunately, he's injured for 2 months. But I decided to sign this guy. Amin Nouri from Nice. He cost me about £14 million, but he looks absolutely incredible. He can play on the wing and up front, comfortable in both. And he's 21 years old, and he's got the ability to grow and develop, which is what I want in this Norwich side over the next 5 years. Now, obviously, the season is going to be simmed. But what we can do is I'm going to show you the team that, should be the first 11 when it's available. And we'll quickly, it would be Rashiska, but we're going to put Sargent in there for now. But I didn't even think of this guy when I started talking about the team. But another reason why I got rid of Pukki was obviously we've got Ida, an absolutely sensational player, good stats already. young, 20, obviously a player that I don't want to sell, can grow into an even better player as well. And partnering him with Nori, a Sargent, obviously, unfortunately, he's injured at the moment, but Rashishka is perfect. And obviously, Sargent can also play up top as well. And we do have this guy as well in Tazoulis, I think is how you say it, who can also cover the wing and striker position. So a very flexible front three. And we didn't have too much budget to work with, so I didn't want to take the risk in the first season to sell loads of players and take the gamble, because I might not be able to afford players to bring, replace the quality that we have. And realistically, in this first season, the goal is survival. That's the one thing I want to be doing. I do not want to drop to the Championship. I want to stay in the Premier League. So I'm going to play a season now, or sim a season now, and let's see how this Norwich City side does in the first season. So then, let's look at this together. Let's have an exact look where we finished this season. The first season, obviously, the main goal is to avoid relegation. Now, it's like painful scrolling down here, because obviously the lower you get. 17th place, so we literally scraped it by the skin of our teeth. A few points difference in there, to be fair. But that was the main goal, to keep in the Premier League for the first season, and then you grow from there, right? I mean, overall, I'm actually quite happy with that. We've not really had a chance to staple a lot of new players in this team, so that's quite a good season, to be fair. I think Norwich fans will be happy, because they're used to sort of going down, coming up all the time. Our top goal scorer is Adam Adar, obviously the player which I completely isolated at the start and then realised that I had. Fantastic forward. 11 goals in his games. The highest average rating was Max Aarons with a 7, so that's quite good as well, one of our key players at the back. Most assists is split across, 4 players? Ben Gibson with the best pass completion, which is an interesting one, considering he's a centre-back, I believe. Few red cards, few yellow cards in there as well, and Alam Adar there with the most player of the match awards. If we go in competitions as well, we can see that we got knocked out by Derby County in the 4th round, which isn't great, but I mean, we haven't really got the squad to be playing the Prem and also competing in the Cups. And here's the 3rd round by Newcastle, which, to be fair, is probably expected. They are a good side. But let's have a little look at the actual squad, and let's see who had a good season, who had a bad season. That's the main thing. So let's have a little look. So in the squad then, average match rating. So Max Aarons, obviously a fantastic player here, you can see. I mean, he's not going to have a lot in terms of assists and goals, but overall his stats as a player look absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. His value's skyrocketed, I believe, as well. So I'm sure he'll be hard to keep now. Adam Adar, fantastic performance out of him. 15 appearances in the Premier League, 7 goals, 2 assists. And to be honest, that's actually quite a good return. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders now, moving forward, obviously, as he was the main striker. And, he's still young, so it's going to take him a few seasons to be getting sort of, into like the 20 goal scorer mark, something ridiculous like that. I want to have a look at our star signing. Now, where is he? Because he's worrying me. Where is he? He ain't all the way down here, is he? No. I can't find his name. There he is. So, 31 games. He pretty much played most of the games, 9 goals and 2 assists. I mean, 6.7, I'd like to see a bit more from him, to be honest. When I signed him, he looked incredible. He still does look very good, but I was expecting a little bit more out of him. I'm going to be honest with you. But overall, I mean, who had the worst performance? The worst, but we can't really include him. Zimmerman. Okay, that does surprise me. The average rating of a 6.55, obviously not great at all, but then he's not really played too much, so you can't really slate him on that. But overall, quite a good season. So what I'm going to do now is, we know where we've finished. Obviously, we remain in the Premier League, which is the main thing. I'm going to make some signings. Let's see how much we've got first, actually. Wow, 31 million, a lot more than what I thought we were going to have to play with. So I'm going to make the signings, and we'll discuss who we get rid of and who we bring in. So then, guys, we've done a lot of business in this transfer window. To start with, the owners, or Delia Smith is the owner, she stepped down. We got new owners in. They actually give us more money. So we've still got about 16 million, but this is it. This is the This is all we're doing this window. Basically, we decided, we'll go through who we sold. The reason, if you're wondering why we got rid of Max Aarons, his contract runs out later this year, and he had no interest in signing. He wanted to move, so I just wanted to cash in when I could. So we sold Max Aarons to Borussia Dortmund, which is a bit of an issue, but we've got two right-backs who are a little bit worse than him, but will do a job. So it's the reason why I let him go. Kenny McLean also left to West Brom, and we sort of got rid of some of the players that either didn't perform great last time or sort of were out of contracts and weren't really worth renewing. Now, players we brought in. So, we brought in a goalkeeper, because obviously Tim Krul is basically a retirement age. We brought in Alessio Cragno from Cagliari, and honestly, what a keeper he is. 28 years old, so he's still got plenty of years in him, and overall 4-star ability, so an upgrade on Krul. He only cost us as well, here, which was about 7.25 million after the excess and the fees or whatever, and the add-ons. We also then went and signed Mads Bidstrup from Brentford. Obviously a team that did go down, but a fantastic player in the midfield. And to be honest, a lot of these players were cheap because they got relegated. So they had like relegation clauses and stuff like that. So we picked up him for a very reasonable price in 10 million. And we then also, with Matthias Jensen, I'll just look at him as well. We only paid, how much was that for him? Paid 2.8 million, which is next to nothing for a player of his calibre. Obviously, again, pretty much the 4-star ability in midfield. And our midfield now looks a lot more resilient, a lot more strong. And also the ages. If you look here, first off, look at the stats, how well-rounded they are, sorry. But 26 years old. And if we look at Bidstrup as well, he's 21. So, I mean, we've actually got a nice young midfield now. We then decided this is where the big money was spent. As good as Ida has been, I want a striker that can be scoring sort of 20 goals, getting on for more than what Ida was doing. So, I got scouted this guy, I looked at him, and I was instantly interested. He was playing in the German league. He was playing for Wolfsburg. Lucas Namaka. Now, he looks honestly incredible. He can play on the wing, better up top, which is where he will be playing. Only 23 as well. Fantastic stats, 15 finishing, and he just looks a very good player. He did cost me 29 million after the add-ons as well. And the last but not least of the players that we signed was, I've decided to add in a Metzala into the formation. So I went and signed Matthias Swavberg. Believe he played for, where was it? Bologna he played for. I was going to say Oslo, but Bologna. Now, he's obviously 4-star ability. Look at the stats, so well-rounded. And again, 23. I'm signing players that I'm doing my best to get them under 25 to develop and grow within the team. And I feel like I've done a very good job this window. So now it's down to see how we do in the second season. So let's simulate another season, and hopefully we remain in the Prem, or possibly even improve on 17th place. So then, guys, we've simmed another season. I instantly clicked on finances, so I don't even know where we finished. I've instantly seen also that we've got 68.3 million, so they've pretty much matched actually a bit more than what they gave us last season. We do have new owners this time, as I did say, obviously in the first season, or after that the original owner left. But let's have a look at the important side. Where did we finish? 12th. Well, I'm actually very happy with that because we obviously finished 17th. We invested in the team. We've gone up 5 places. More of a mid-table finish, which I didn't actually expect. I was expecting to finish maybe 15th, 14th. But 12th place is very good indeed. And I've instantly seen down here as well that the top goal scorer for the club is the man that I brought in. So fantastic call from me there to obviously bring him in with 16 goals, which you can't complain about. Also, the first season signing, highest average match rating, which is good to see. And also, most assists has come from the star man himself as well, which is very good. Ben Gibson with the 96% pass completion again, and not a great running in the cups, but Wolves maybe expected loss. Bournemouth, bit disappointing to be fair, but honestly, not too bad. Let's have a quick look then in the squad and see what the overall match ratings were. So, Tim Krul, actually, the top performer overall. How many games did he play? Non-competitive. Okay, right, we'll write that off then. But then it's Amin Nouri again. So, I mean, But very good for him. Josh Sargent with a very good match rating as well, or average match rating. And then we get into the striker with a 6.97. Who's at the bottom then? Adam, wow, did he not play much? He didn't play much. He played 3 games, done nothing in the 3 games. Obviously, I simulate the season, so I don't always pick the starting lineup. So it's sort of like up to the assistant who fills in, I guess. But to be fair, I'm not going to sell him. I'm not going to do anything like that because he's a great option to have on the bench. He really is. But obviously, Lucas Namacha obviously didn't get injured too many times, I guess, because he played 38 games, with 14 goals, which is decent. It's a bit better than what Adam Adar done in his or Ida done in his first season. So overall, I'm quite happy with that. Is the new goalkeeper playing? 38 games, 6 clean sheets. Obviously, you can't fully point the finger at that because we haven't got the best defence yet. That's probably the next area I'm going to look to strengthen. But overall, I would say that is a fantastic season. Obviously, you know, finishing in 12th. Can't really complain if you're a Norwich fan. I mean, and we now can look, and we've got 68 million to spend in the upcoming season. And to be honest with you, that's actually quite a lot of money for a club like this. And now I guess you go from mid-table next season. Next season, it'd be better if we can somehow go a rank up, you know, possibly up to like 10th. But I don't think we're going to make this jump from 12th to like Europa League right off the bat. So I'll get back to you once we've done the transfer side of things, and hopefully we can keep developing the club. So then, guys, I've done the transfer side of things for this season, and we have been busy in the window. So we're going to start off with the people that we've offloaded. So we've offloaded a few, you know, we offloaded Ben Gibson. I know he's had good pass completion, but he's an Asian centre-back. He's really towards the end of, you know, the end of his career. So we offloaded him as we did get a reasonable offer of 1.2 million. And he didn't really fit into my future plans going forward. If we skip just a little bit, you can also see that Jonathan Rowe is now on loan at Stevenage, which obviously is a place for him to develop. Now, the other players that we sort of, you know, got rid of aren't exactly massive names, so I won't talk too much on them. But this season, we spent big. The main focus of this team that needs to be improved now is the back line, particularly the centre-backs. So I went and spent big on 2 centre-backs that not only are already great, but have got potential to improve, are young, and also just look very good. So the first one I brought in was from VfL Wolfsburg in LaCroix. Obviously a fantastic player, a favourite for many FIFA fans, I do here. But honestly, such a good player, instantly into the team, fantastic stats, and obviously 23 years old, so, you know, plenty of years left in him. And he cost me, as we can see here, 28 million, which isn't actually too bad. I then wanted to partner him alongside someone that is young, talented, and, you know, already is quite a good centre-half. And I got scouted this guy, who cost me 33.5 million after the add-ons and after everything's taken into account. And that is none other than Tadibo. And honestly, he looks incredible. Obviously, he's 23 as well. So you're talking like, you know, each centre-back has still got sort of like 7 seasons where they turn 30. And they're probably going to be at such a good rate. You know, it's a real good partnership if they can get playing together. And he's actually perfect for playing in that ball defender role, which I do have one of, which he will be taking the spot for. So overall, that has strengthened the team massively. Because now this is like, obviously, they're on holiday at the moment, but this is our best team, and it is developing. This is just after 2 seasons. We're now into our 3rd season, and because we are getting financial backing, the team is improving rapidly, and it's really good to see. But let's sim another season and see how we do. So then, guys, that is the 3rd season simmed. I've done exactly the same. I'm in the finance screen so we can look at it together live. Now, they've given us roughly about the same, 64 million, which is a lot of money, to be honest, for a club like this. And we've still got 100% transfer revenue. So if we do offload any players, we are going to get all of that money as well. So from that side of things, we stayed about the same. So let's have a look where we finished. Now, last season, we finished 12th, which was a very good finish. Obviously, that was after 1 window of strengthening. We've strengthened again. Obviously, these players have got to get used to it. But let's see where we finished. Wow. I think that is. So we finished in 12th place. So exactly the same. Exactly the same. Now, that might not seem good because obviously we spent money and we brought in youngsters, but them youngsters obviously have got to develop. They've got to get used to the Premier League, and 12th place for Norwich is actually very good. We still can obviously reinvest and try and, you know, progress as we go on, but overall I'm very happy with that. Man United winning the Premier League there, something that we probably won't see for a while in real life, but a very good finish there. Who went down? Watford, Blackburn and Burnley. Quite common sides, I'd say, that you predict to go down if you weren't going to predict us. Bournemouth as well with a good finish. Our top goal scorer is Lucas Namaka, obviously the player that we brought in last season, the last season signing. A very good player by the looks of it. And this is what I like to see. Highest average rating is from one of our new centre-backs. Now, what I don't like here is obviously, if we look, well, I'll look at it in the squad, but there's the winger we brought in, the player called Nori, he's not anywhere up here, even on the assists. It's actually Piers Les-Malou, who's top of the charts there. But let's go and have a look then in the actual squad, and let's see who performed and let's see who didn't. So squad, let's have a little look. So we'll filter it from highest to lowest. So you've got actually our centre-back obviously coming in there with the highest performance and a very high match rating there in his last 5 games. So he finished the season strong as well. So very good from him. This will be our Metzala midfielder. Or can play multiple roles here. Played 33 games, 8 goals and 5 assists, which is quite impressive in that midfield role. And you can't really complain too much about that, that is for sure. Lacroix as well, having quite a good performance in terms of match rating. And also Malou, a player who didn't actually play too much last season, but obviously has been called into action for 25 games of the season. So fair play to him there. Can't really complain about that. Now, let's look at also, what I will say is, the worst performers, Adam Ida again. Now, how many games? Didn't really play. So obviously, he could be a player I look to. I don't really want to offload him because obviously he's not playing a lot. When I simulate, I do tell them that they don't have to stick to the exact 11 I have because I want to give everyone a chance to play, right? Some other underperformers, Josh Sargent, a player which honestly I could be tempted to offload. He's not really done anything for me, and I've never really seen him, you know, even in the first season when we didn't have these players that were playing over him. He didn't do too much, so definitely a player that I could look to offload. Rashishka there, overall not great. Obviously towards the end of the season, he sort of, in the last 5 games, had a decent match rating. But a player who, you know, I was expecting a bit more from. But the positives we can take from this is obviously that, where's Nori on here? Now, this is not a good sign. A player which I did think was going to kick on and actually do a little bit better there, but unfortunately he hasn't. But he's still developing, he's still got time. But overall, the positives from this is obviously our 2 signings, which were the players that we brought in to really strengthen this team, are doing it. But what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to make the transfers. I'll come back to you once we've done it, and let's prepare for Season 4. So then, guys, we've done another season of transfers. Before we dig into it, do drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. But here we go. So we decided to go in, and Rafinha wasn't actually a player that I had right in my mind, but his contract was close to expiring and we got a fantastic price on him. 8.7 million is an absolute steal for Rafinha. He's like 27, but he's still got a few years in him and is a fantastic upgrade to our team. We then also wanted to go and sign the left back because the current first team left back was unhappy and also he wasn't playing too well, and I wanted someone with a bit of experience because that back line is quite young. So I went and got Lucas Digne, previously of Aston Villa, for 14.5. Again, if we have a little look at him, he's 31, so he is on the older age, you know, the older side of it, but I got him in to really just structure that back line, a leader in that back line. I then also went and got a little backup. It was a scout as a centre-back option, which was Lianco. A very cheap player, just a very good backup. Obviously, you'll see when I show you who I sold, we got rid of a few older centre-backs and brought in someone who was about 4 years younger. So overall, a very good backup centre-back to have, that is for sure. So that is that one. As you can see here, Josh Sargent unfortunately did go. Never did work with him, unfortunately. Now, what you're going to see next might shock you. And I'm going to explain it because it's the first thing that you're going to see. So we'll go to this season. You'll see that we actually made a decision to sell Todibo. It wasn't a decision. The only way I could sign him when I wanted to was if he had a release clause. And that was that basically if any Champions League team wanted to pop the release clause, then they could have him. And that is the highest I could get it. That's the highest. We did turn a profit on him because he paid like 38, I believe. We can actually have a look here. Toledo paid 33. So we did turn a profit, but we lost Todibo, Todibo, which is an absolutely massive loss. So I've done my best to replace him. So what I've done with that is, I signed a first team right back because our current right backs weren't great. So I got this guy from Nice called Chris Richards. Can play centre back as well, but looks quite a good upgrade with very well balanced stats and 24. So fits in with the future project that I'm building here. We then also got Jordan Lukaku for a backup to Digne on the free. Obviously, not a star man by any means, but decent stats. And also, he was free. He's on hardly anything a week, so why not get him involved? We then also, for the for the replacement centre-back, it was hard. I tried to get so many players, and there were so many people. There's a couple of youngsters from Bayern I wanted, but they weren't interested in joining. So I hit up Frankfurt for Tuta, who honestly looks very good. Unfortunately, in the pre-season, because I've had to play a couple games, he picked up an injury. But this is what we got in Tuta. Obviously, already nearly a four-star ability, but he's only 25, the ability to grow, and then stats there are honestly incredible. Probably the best we could get with the money that we got, obviously, from Toledo. So, very happy with that signing. And then to top it all off, the last signing of this window, I got scouted this guy, a wonder kid from FC Kobavan, and it is Ronnie Badagli. I think that's how you say that. Very, very young, 18 years of age, can play on this right-hand wing side, and to be honest, he might actually get into the first team ahead of Rashishka, because he looks very good. The stats look fantastic, and obviously, I mean, we paid, I don't know if we can actually see here, if we go to transfer information, he's actually now valued between 70 and 96 million. So a fantastic player, and he only cost me 9.7 million. So I'm really excited. Let's go and sim the next season and see how we do. Hopefully we can push towards a top 10 finish. So guys, that is the 4th season completed. I'm on the finance screen again so we can look at, the results together. 68 million again, so nearly 70 million we can invest again into the team. But let's have a look how we done. Here we go. Wow, 9th place. So, I mean, to be honest, that's actually a massive improvement. That's 3 places we've improved on, and we lost our centre-back, so we were forced into bringing in a centre-back who obviously had to adapt and learn. And also, I've noticed here, we're runners-up in the Carabao Cup, so we lost in the final. So we made all the way to the final in the Carabao Cup, which we lost to Liverpool. We also lost to Liverpool in the FA Cup. But to get to the final is a huge achievement in itself. And to be honest, these stats are looking better now. Like, I mean, the 7th best for goals scored, I'm actually quite happy with that. And look at this. So obviously, Namaka, the guy that's been in our team for quite some time, is now getting the goals. 19 goals this season. Rafinha, the star man, the new signing. 7.16 on the average match rating and 16 assists. Lianco picks up the best pass completion. And honestly, I feel like we've now got quite a good spine to this team. We've got one more season to play, so I'm hoping we can push into at least the sort of Conference League. And if we do, I might be tempted to do one more season to see how we do in that competition. But let's look at the squad, and let's just see exactly how things planned out then. So, average rating. So you've got Rafinha here. How did he do this season? So you're talking 37 games, 7 goals, 13 assists, 2 player of the matches. Obviously not, goal every game type of standard, but the assists are massive for that, because obviously a lot of the goals were scored by this guy, who also did have quite a good average match rating. We have a look at him. So 30 games, 16 goals, 3 assists. And he played pretty much every game, which is massive, because obviously it shows that you know, he's staying fit and he's playing, which is one of the key things that we need. The other top performers then, so Chris Richards, our new man, obviously we brought in to fill in that right back role. I assume he played quite a bit, 35 games, so fantastic from him, picking up 2 assists as well. 9 yellow cards, no red cards though in there. How did our new centre back get on? Where is he? Am I being blind? Tutor. I don't know if he played a lot. So he played 26 games. He didn't play the entire season. Not a standout season for sure, but definitely a season that he probably adapting to the league and getting used to things. In terms of then worst performers, our goalkeeper's always pretty average actually. About a 7 match rating, which is fine. You can see some of the stats also in this column here. But the worst performer again, you're looking at the likes of Angus Gunn, who obviously doesn't play a lot, and Adam Idar, or Adar, however you say it. I don't actually think he plays too much. Granted, in his last 5 games, though, 7.36, so he obviously did do something, just non-competitive 3 games ago. Okay, well, he is literally now just the backup striker. I give him a chance to shine in the first season without signing like an all-and-out forward, and he didn't do it. But overall, I'm actually very happy with this season. So a 9th place finish. We've got a ton of money to spend as well. So I guess this is going to, well, this will be the last transfer window. So I'll come back to you once we've got the transfers done, and then we'll push into the final season. So then, guys, this is going to be the final transfer window of this save. And there's been a bit of business, not as much as probably what I thought, because obviously I've decided to buy more sort of depthy players, that makes sense. Like, I've definitely tried to bring in players to just make sure that we're covered in positions. Now, as for selling, we're going to cover that first. We've had a few people leave on the free, one of them actually being Rashishka. Basically I tried to offer him a contract at the end of the season, he wasn't interested, so he went on the free to Zenit, and I did decide to sell Adam Idar there because he's not been performing, and when he has been called upon, which he hasn't really, like, he's not actually been doing really anything for me, even in the few games he has been playing towards the start of the save that we done. I then brought in these 2 players, which we'll talk about quickly, but first off we'll go about with this guy here, which is Fabian Rieder. Now, it's a guy that I saw come up, and obviously 16.5 million, 17.5 after the add-ons. Not a bad price, and he is a fantastic player. I'm going to be playing him sort of in the Metzala role, and he's going to be playing alongside, which will be Swavberg there, or yes, Swanberg there. Sorry, just want to make sure I don't butcher names. And I got him in because he was close to an expiry on his contract, so I got him for cheaper. As you can see, his value here, and I feel like having him is great depth in the midfield, and also the age is very good as well. At 23, he's still got plenty of years to play, and he's just an all well balanced player, that is for sure. The next player I decided to bring in would be Hans Wolf from Salzburg for 20.5 million. Again, it's another sort of player who is better sort of like on the wing, which is why I got him. I got him not to be on the bench, but obviously Rashishka was like a backup winger, and this guy to start with will be a backup winger because obviously we've got great wingers, but he has got the potential to fight for the first team place, and he's more than a backup winger. He should be rotated and played every so often because he does look like a great player, and obviously just as you saw with the value, completely skyrocketed because I got a great deal on him, hence why I got him. And the last player we got in to replace Adar, just to have as backup, or if our main striker isn't performing, this guy can come on, is none other than Eddie Nketiah. Obviously quite a promising player in real life, promising player in the game. How much should we pay? We paid 17.5 million. He's valued at double that. A very good player to look to for on the bench and potentially to fight for the first team. And I'm very confident in this team now, guys. On paper, we look very good, that is for sure. I'll quickly show you what, like, some of the, the options we've got, and it is honestly amazing. But obviously we've got Rafinha, we've got this wonder kid who looks absolutely incredible now. We've got Namaka up top, but we can also rely to now bring on the lights on Nketiah. We managed to keep Cantwell, Nori, Loads of options on the bench. We've still got the Brentford lads that we signed in midfield, which will be playing still. I have got to get a work permit for Lukaku, something I forgot to do last season. But overall, a very, very solid team. And possibly the only other thing that I wish I could have done was get a slightly better backup goalkeeper. But we had no injuries really with the first team goalkeeper in the first season. But let's sim the last season and see how we do. What a big one this could be. So then, guys, we've simmed the last season. This is going to be the final season. The rule I've made is that we're going to be doing 5 and only 5, because otherwise you could keep going on, and if you keep going on, eventually we'll get there. But 5 years is a nice amount of time to turn around a club. So let's see where we finish in our last season at the club. I'm hoping big, because this has gone up. I don't know if that's because it's just naturally gone up or whatever, but wow, 3rd place in the Premier League. And, I mean, quite a poor cup display, but in 5 years' time, we have turned Norwich City from relegation candidates, a team that go down pretty much every season, to a team that is now capable of qualifying for Champions League. And they did so by a 5-point margin as well, beating the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, all to Champions League. Even Everton getting in Champions League as well. Rafinha had an outstanding season, highest goal scorer, highest match rating, most assists, 29 assists. Honestly, incredible from him. But overall, I am super satisfied with that. 5-year window, the business on the players has been absolutely sensational. I mean, I feel like I've left him with a fantastic squad. I really do. Let's have a little look at the squad and look at the ratings. So, from highest, obviously, Rafinha will be at the top. As you can see there, this season, 29 assists, 18 goals. This guy here, I mean, this is the wonder kid, isn't it? On the right-hand side, 15 goals with, 15 assists and 17 goals. I don't know if I mistake and said accidentally that the wrong way round up there as well. But overall, a fantastic season. Digne even, is that Digne? Digne coming in with 11 assists at fullback. Honestly incredible. Hans Wolf, obviously one of the new signings, coming in and getting 16 goals. The Matcha with 17 goals. It's really good to see. Nketiah didn't look like he played too much, but overall a fantastic season. Definitely, and I mean, what Norwich fan wouldn't be happy with that? How have we left the club in terms of club info? So club info then, we are a rich club still. Training facilities are 5-star, youth are 5-star, coaching's free, youth recruitment's 3.5, and this is pretty much the team we've left them with. I'll show it to you on paper. So an absolutely brutal starting 11, firepower, stacked midfield. The defence is not like, the centre backs are probably not like world class just yet, but they're developing and they will become world class. We've left him in a very good situation, obviously with a good bench as well. And I feel like I've come in and I've done a fantastic job. This is the first one I've done of these guys, so please do comment below on how you think I done, and also please do leave suggestions. What team do you want me to see to do next? Because the team I'm going to do next personally is going to be Manchester United, because that's my team. But if there's any other teams you want to see me do, and there's any other suggestions, let me know. Also, would you like me? I mean, I want to do 5 seasons, but if you'd rather me, if I get in this situation and I get them in the Champions League and we don't get to see how they do you want me to play another season or not? I just sort of like, I want to keep it at 5 because then each save will be treated fairly. But no, that is everything for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this. What a turnaround it has been. Please do leave a like on the video, drop a comment, share the video about, drop a subscription to the channel. We're absolutely killing it. We're road to 1k subs, that's what I'm saying. And I'll see you guys in the next one.